Hey Neppers, it's me, Wild Neptune. This is going to be an Epic 7 video, and it's going to be about this new balance update we're going to get. It'll take into effect at 3:18, so this is going to be after World Arena ends. Anyway, if you like this video, want to see more like it, or just get updates on me and what I'm doing, leave a follow down below, like, subscribe, comment, do all that stuff, and catch me at Twitch at twitch.tv/WildNeptune. So here we go. This update will have DJ Psar, Chouxed, Crimson Marmon, Chouxed, Kawana, and Helga. Also, Black Hand of the Goddess, which is Cowrick's artifact, and Eternus will be buffed, and Soul Weaver Sagittarius. So let's start off with DJ Psar, a hero that people have wanted to be buffed for a long time. Even when he came out, people thought he was bad. He's not great. So the first one is that now he'll heal every time he uses a skill, which is good, and the healing is increased, which is also good. Because let's be fair here, his healing was really bad on his S1. Like laughably bad. He basically just used his S3, and that was it, right? Speaking of S3, it's getting a small buff where now, when the skill is available, it decreases damage suffered by critical hit by 30%. It's only for him, right? It's not a party-wide thing. That would be too good, right? So it's only for him, and it's only when the skill is available. Something to note is that his skill 3 is on a pretty long cooldown. This is really for when you build him like slower, right? When it gets a little more bulk, you just take less damage before you use the S3. Or in some cases, like you don't want to use the S3 right away, and maybe like cycle a turn instead, and that might give him some survivability if he's like a faster variant. The problem with the first one, like building him slower to like survive, is that you're already slower for more bulk, right? So it's like the decreased damage you take is worth a little bit less. And with the faster ones, like, you're either going to use the S3 right away just to get the immunity, or you're going to, get controlled a little bit. So, it's okay. I think it's a little hard to, like, balance out when you want S3, depending on your builds. But it says here, JJ Psar will be improved to be more sturdy, allowing him to survive until he can use Best S Roar. Okay, I mean, yeah. Like, his problem was never really surviving in battles, I don't think. It was more the fact that he didn't really do anything after he S3'd. I mean, he'll do a little more now because of this, right? And have, like, a little more sustain, I suppose. But even then, I don't really see him there are like too many other good cleansers, like Ray or Katie, right? Like, you know, Emma Lilibet, stuff like that. ER Lilius, that I would still take over him in RTA. even with these buffs. Okay, Shu. Shu's big thing is that she's probably the best hard Ravi counter in the game. The problem is that she's really bad against, like, every other hero in the game. So even though she's really, really good against Ravi, she sucks against everybody else. So, double focus for her... I think this is her S1. You know, that's good, right? That's basically what Landy got. Also, her defense penetration is being increased, and she heals now too, so just more survivability, which mixes well with her. This is her S2, which it mixes well with her crit hit reduction too, because she'll take less. Just like she takes like less damage by not being crit, and she can heal up a little bit also. This should make you a little bit stronger versus, like, I don't know, things like maybe SSB. Also against tanks too, right? She might transfer more into, like, a Night Buster than she already is right now. We'll have to see. She's already, like, in my opinion, borderline usable. It's just that she's not quite good enough versus the field. So this might push her, like, to the point where she's an okay pick. Okay, Carmen. So her S1 is being changed to 100% provoke with Molas, which is good. And now her damage reduction is for all attacks, not just critical hits. So no matter what, so it could be a true damage attack, doesn't crit, it will do 15% less damage. This is more for, like, I guess, PvE, maybe like normal arena than anything else. Or like Guild Wars. Carbon's issue isn't really her defensive capabilities. Like, honestly, I think they could have changed this to 20%, and I don't think she'd see any use still. Carmen's issue is she doesn't represent a threat, right? Every knight in the game that's being used right now represents a threat somehow, right? Like with FCC, the meta builds are being built with some crit chance to do some damage. Like Emerald Crow obviously does a lot of damage too. A Tywin is being built bruiser, so he does damage. Lilius has a dual attack, which, you know, helps you do damage. Blue Crow has a horse, which does a lot of damage. A Raz has a dual attack, which, well, helps you do more damage, right? And that's, like, Flurry has a defense break, right? Which helps you, well, do more damage. That's the big thing. Like, knights that don't have some sort of offensive, like, push to help your team usually is no longer chosen anymore. Like, the only real defensive knight is, like, FCC, and that's because your utility is just way too good, even with a non-crit chance build, right? And again, like I mentioned before, the crit chance build is the preferred build for people. So this would honestly have to be buffed probably to its, like, pre-nerf level, which was 30% for the party, before I think she starts seeing use again. On top of that, there's a lot of strippers and everything in the meta, so... okay, ML Crozet. So... The stun on his S1 is a 40% for a turn, and when he counters, so not on his turn, is a 20% bonus, so 60%, which is good, because he has a built-in counter rate if the backline is attacked. And his S3, I believe this is getting a 1 soul boost. Also, if the back row's attacked, he gets a CR boost too, which helps him a lot because he is really slow. It makes him better, right? This is I think this is like his second or third set of buffs he's gotten. Again, like, he has more utility than Carbon, because the big thing here is that he has a full dispel and a few more like bonuses here that helps you do a little more damage and control the board a little more than Carbon does. So I would say he's, like, after these buffs, he's in a better spot. Is he going to be picked over, like, the other knights in RTA? No, right? But for, like, Guild Wars defense, right? Like arena defense, you don't have anything better. He can be usable, right? He can be annoying. So, also just some AI things. So I really don't know how his AI works, but if you do, you can check that out. All right, Kawana. Her S1 is gaining damage proportional to speed, and she's getting a soul burn now for an extra turn, which is pretty good. Her base speed is really high, so this should, depending on what the multiplier is on this, her or S2. I don't know what this is. I think this is the S2, but depending on the multiplier, this could be like a significant damage boost. Also here, she now dispels before stunning, which is good, because now at first she's stunned and then dispelled, which doesn't really help. But now she will basically always get the stun off. And if she's on a full fire team, the rest of her team gets a CR boost, right? Which is like never going to be a thing in RTA, right? Like, I think maybe one time in the past, like, 1,500 RTA fights I've done, have I ever had, like, legitimately went with, like, only fire units on my team. So, just not gonna be really a thing that you're gonna use in that. She does see some, like, a couple people do use her a little bit, like, very niche use, but maybe this will push her over a little bit to being like, a speed check, I guess. Alright, Helga. So S1, just get more damage. And these are some of her runes, so honestly, this doesn't really change anything. All it's doing is it increases the ally with the highest attack CR by 30%, but all the allies have to be Earth, So it's basically for Banshee, non one-shot Banshee. Same thing here. Her critical hit chance and hit chance. Oh no, not even hit chance. It's just critical hit chance is increased for a turn. If her HP before it was max, but now it's 70%, which is okay, right? But it's still not gonna change. Like it lowers her gear requirement a little bit because you only need 50 crit, right, for her. But again, still only for non one-shot Banshee. Alright, artifacts. Black Hand of the Goddess is a mage artifact. Before it would increase, it's just that this is at plus 30, by the way. Before it would increase crit chance by 24%, and it would every turn the caster takes, it would go down by 10% each. So 2.4% to half, to 12. Now you're adding crit damage too. So I think what you do here is you raise mages who want to use this at like 10, like max crit chance plus, not max crit chance, like, so you take, let's say you have a plus 31. You raise your mage to have 76 plus 4.8, right? So like 80.8 crit chance with this artifact. So you have two turns at 100% crit, because mages that will use this artifact are probably only attacking at most 3 times, right? In the fight. Like, that's how fast I think it'll be over. The big thing is that you're not using like book or crown, right? If you're using this, so it just faces competition. But you know, maybe if you just want to do damage, the increased crit damage is worth it, especially if you can if you don't have to build 100% crit chance either, and you can put it into like other stats like attack or speed, right? So because this is a pretty big stat boost, honestly. Like, just in like raw stats, like this is worth 4 rolls here with the crit chance at max, and the crit damage is worth like what, 3 rolls, something like that. So this is like 7 to 8 rolls on a piece of gear if it's fully maxed out. It's like almost having like another piece of gear on your character, honestly. Eternus. So this is an artifact where your caster increases their CR. It's a Soul Weaver artifact. When a debuff ally takes a turn, except for the caster. I don't know. Is like 12% CR boost every time that happens enough? Like, let's say you have 3. Okay, here's the problem though with this. Like, let's say they do all take turns before you, right? And they were debuffed. Okay? And you got the CR boost. If you're so slow that you needed this in the first place, and everybody went before you did, then like they took a turn, so the debuffs are like, you know, falling off already. But if you're faster, you know, and you want to cleanse them off before they take their turn, well, then you don't really need this, right? Because you're gonna cleanse them, so you won't get a CR boost. I think this has to do something. Even when there are no debuffs on your team, right? Like, I don't know, maybe give like increased healing, right? Or something like that. Or like a little bit more, like a little bit something extra overall. Like what they did to like Shamadras, right? Because this is like a little bit too situational. And it doesn't really synergize well with units that would want to actually use this. Alright, so this is something here people have asked for a long time. It's Sagittarius Soul Weaver changes. So if you don't know, this is Tamarin's, also GJB's artifact, and it's changing to, what do you call it? From attack percentage to ER. And thankfully, it looks like it's only... I think it's only going to be... Oh, no, it's not. It's with both. Okay, actually, for, Blaze Dingo, if this is like a straight 1, it might not be good, right? Because he's also a 4-star. But for everybody else, right, it's good. But so... The base attack, though, is actually raising. So it looks like they are going to raise the base attack, too, you get. So I don't know how this works, but now you just get more attack, and you get the ER, too. So it's just a straight buff all around, right? You just get more free stats, which is good for these units. But anyway, 318 is the update that's going to pop up. Again, that's after World Arena ends. As far as all the buffs go, I think a lot of them are like half steps, in my opinion. I actually think the shoe buff and probably the Black Hand, the Goddess buffs are going to be the most impactful overall. Maybe Kawana will see like some more niche play. I kind of doubt it, right? But those are what I think are going to be the most prevalent, at least in RTA. The other ones I think maybe a little bit too, you know, so-so to see a big impact. But those are my thoughts. Again, I'm Neptune. It's been a good one. Nep out.